Welcome everyone to the Newman Gymnasium on this fine Sunday afternoon. We have a North Atlantic Conference matchup between the 8 and 10 Husson Eagles against the SUNY Delhi Broncos coming in at 0 and 15. I'm Xander Cook, joined alongside Sam Miller and Luke Caruso. These Husson Eagles yesterday afternoon had a gutsy win against Cobleskill. Cobleskill was 15 and 2 entering that matchup, while Husson was 7 and 10. Husson was down for most of the game and somehow came from behind to win the game 75 to 70. Sam, Luke, can you talk a little bit about that game? How did Husson come from behind and steal that victory?
I mean, it all came down to Coach Kinsey Walker implementing that trap full court press that we saw. Really didn't see it a lot in that first half, but then as the game progressed, in that third quarter especially, Coach Walker implemented the press and the trap, and it completely switched the momentum of the game, and it just forced so many turnovers for the Fighting Tigers at the time. And coming into that game, really did a really good job taking care of the ball. The Eagles had 25 points off of turnovers, and which really, like I said, really just swung the momentum of the game and allowed the Eagles to come back, and was probably their gutsiest win of the season so far.
Absolutely. The Eagles did a great job of making the Tigers feel very uncomfortable, especially a team that liked to set up in their half-court sets, running that full-court trap. Got them running at a little higher pace, I think, and obviously led to the Eagles' victory.
These Eagles have won 5 of their last 6 games, mainly due to that full-court trap. And like you mentioned, Sam, it's been takeaway after takeaway for these Eagles, leading to transition points, and that's been the name of their game as of late. What about the SUNY Delhi Broncos searching for their first victory of the year? What's it going to take for them in this matchup to steal this victory?
They got to take care of the ball. I mean, that's the biggest thing around it. I mean, these Eagles, we know how fast they like to play. They play with a lot of velocity, play with a lot of pressure. They will get right in your face and play smash mouth basketball. So if you're the Broncos, you have to take care of the ball, and you have to not be sloppy on the offensive side of the ball. You got to hit your shots, of course, coming into this game. 29% shooting from the field, 14% from the three-point line. It's not going to get it done against a team like the Eagles. So take care of the ball, drive and kick, low for open shots, space and pace the floor. You'll be all set.
The Eagles are without Callaway LePage, Hannah Richards, and Alyssa Harris in this matchup. So miracles can happen. Will we see one today? We'll find out in just a few moments. We'll be right back on the Husson Eagles Sports Network.
Honor America with the playing of our national anthem. And now, let's meet today's starting lineups. First for the visiting Broncos, a junior from Phoenix City, Alabama, number 3, Shakira Pullenwilder. A sophomore from Queens, New York, number 4, Jewel Torres. A freshman from Chester, New York, number 23, Isabel O'Hara. A freshman from Cape Coral, Florida, number 24, Alexandra Roots. A sophomore from Queens, New York, number 32, Samantha Miller. Delhi is coached by Rasul Jackson in his second season. He is assisted by Brittany Bathwaite and Miles Mathias. And now, today's starters for your Husson University Eagles. At guard, a senior from Charlotte, Maine, number 0, Lauren Cook. At guard, a freshman from Frenchville, Maine, number 1, Lily Roy. At guard, a senior from Dallas, Maine, number 4, Sophia McVicker. At forward, a senior from Concord, New Hampshire, number 15, Jordan Lindell. And at forward, a freshman from Greenbush, Maine, number 34, Sage Evans. The head coach for Husson in her 17th time 2 season is Kissy Walker. She is assisted by Randy Dodge, Dave Morgan, Lori Gott, and Steve Washington.
Here comes the opening tip in this matchup. It is a cold day here in Bangor, so it's only right that these Eagles are wearing their crisp black alternates. Husson wins the tip. Here comes Lily Roy, her layup, that's good. And these Eagles draw first blood in this matchup.
And like we saw in that first game the other day, the Eagles immediately going into that full court press trap. And so far so good as they get another turnover here.
Here's McVicker on the wing. Lengel feeds it to Evans. Her layup, that's good. And it is 4-0 Eagles just seconds into the game. Jewel Torres with the ball. Wide open. Layup good. That is Samantha Miller. Lauren Cook, top of the wing. Feeds it to McVicker in the corner. McVicker to Lengel. Posting up. Layup. Good.
And look, we saw last game, Lengel had made probably the biggest impact on the game. She had a double-double last night, 12 points, 10 rebounds, but also her passing really allowed her to open up opportunities for her teammates, which allowed them to pace the floor.
And there's Samantha Miller yet again, getting around Lengel for another 2. McVicker turns the ball over. Here comes Torres. Like you mentioned, Sam, in this matchup, Husson's going to rely on Jordan Lengel. She's got the height in this matchup, probably the tallest player on the court. As here's Lily Roy. Layup no good. And that'll go out of bounds, stays with Husson.
It's a great job by Isabella Hare down low, getting her body in front of Lengel, getting good positioning in the paint, not allowing her to sky for the boards as she does normally in these games.
Sage Evans wide open, sinks it. Like we mentioned in pregame, Husson without two of their starters, so it is Lily Roy, Lauren Cook, Sage Evans, Jordan Lengel, and Sophia McVicker. We'll see what this starting rotation can do in this matchup. Here's Torres, guarded by Roy. Lauren Cook, great steal. Pushing the pace, great feed to McVicker, layup good. It's that transition offense for these Eagles, name of their game in the last 6 games.
Absolutely. The Eagles made an early adjustment, too, already coming out of that full court trap, coming into the half court. Still quite a bit of pressure, but just keeping it in the half court for right now. And leads to a turnover.
Another turnover for these Broncos. Here's McVicker, top of the key. She'll feed it to Cook. Cook back to McVicker. Beautiful pass. Can't get the layup to drop. And that'll go out of bounds. Last touch by Alexandra Roos.
And once again, we see the Eagles being super aggressive on the offensive glass. In the game against Cobleskill yesterday, they had 16 offensive rebounds, which is a big reason why they were able to come back from a very gutsy performance and come away with a big victory.
Cook couldn't get her 3 to fall. And that was out of bounds. Last touch by Lily Roy. It is Broncos ball. Here is Torres guarded by Roy. Great move. Cutting to the basket. Fakes the pass. Layup and one. Jewel Torres.
That's really good recognition by Jewel Torres. Notice that there was a wide open corner of the paint on the right-hand side. No hesitation, just drove right in, had a little bit of a Euro step there, and banks it off the glass. There's a chance for a three-point play.
Torres free throw, no good. Torres is third on the team in points per game, just under 7. She's got 2 already. Here's Lengel, top of the key, driving to the basket, uses her height, and one.
Great take. Doing a great job, especially coming from the game yesterday, staying patient offensively and getting to that right hand for an easy layup.
And not only that, Luke, we saw in that last game against Cobleskill that we don't really see Lengel put the ball on the floor and take it to the basket a lot, but she did that quite a bit in that game against the Tigers, and of course she's continuing that momentum in this game today so far.
Lengel gets her free throw to drop. It is now a 7-point game early on in this matchup for these Eagles. Here's Torres driving to her left. Now cutting to the basket. Double team. Feeds it to Isabella O'Hare. Can't get that one to fall. Rebounded by these Eagles. Wide open in the paint is Lengel. Lengel's layup good. Jordan Lengel having it her way in this matchup already with 7 points.
She's doing a great job in transition offensively, running to the basket and getting a good position so her teammates can find her for easy buckets right there.
And there's a foul on Husson. That'll be on Lily Roy. Her first foul.
It'll be interesting to see what head coach Rasul Jackson will do with the Broncos today. Of course, only 2 people coming off the bench for his roster, so it'll be interesting to see how he'll maintain players coming in and on and off the court to keep players fresh and just keeping them mobile and spry.
And there's a travel violation on Shakira Fullen-Wilder.
Right on cue, Xander. You mentioned it. Lengel using her height and her length to disrupt any sort of paint presence that the Broncos are trying to adjust or trying to maintain in this game.
Here's McVicker driving to her left. Layup. Good. Husson's offense off to a wonderful start here today. Already up 17-6 in this matchup. Fullenwilder, good pass to Samantha Miller. Layup no good. Broncos keep control of the ball. And there's Lengel coming up with the ball. Lengel driving. Beautiful move behind the back layup. Gets it to fall.
Doing a little everything today. Pushing the break with an easy finish. I get a little across the lane.
Yeah, she's now 4 for 4 on the game as well. Lengel's efficiency carrying over from last night's gutsy win once again.
That is now 9 of the Hussons, 19 points from Jordan Lengel. And there's another turnover from the Broncos. McVicker feeds it to Roy. Roy to a wide open Cook. Unlights it from 3, no good. And Broncos come up with possession. Here's Jewel Torres. Torres stops. She'll just wait for something to open up. Feeds it to Alexandra Roos. Roos going to her right. Good defense from Cook. Here's Fullenwilder. Layup no good. Great defense from the Eagles. That'll go out of bounds, maintained by Husson.
Here we see once again College Walker going right to her bench, switching all 5 players onto the floor. We saw players like Porter, Montigny, Seward, Martinez, and Beals checked into the game yesterday and made a huge impact.
One thing about these Eagles, seems like everyone on this team can play defense tremendously. Those full court traps set up by Kissy Walker works to almost perfection every game. It causes the teams they're playing against to be super uncomfortable early on, and it leads to a lot of turnovers.
Absolutely, and they're doing a similar thing on the defensive end. Like you said, the Eagles are a strong defensive team. They're kind of switching everything and playing kind of a man-to-man zone in a way right now and just picking up ball where they can and forcing turnovers against the Broncos.
And we talked about it a lot yesterday during the game that it's incredible how Coach Walker's been able to build a team that up and down the bench can come off and produce such great results. It doesn't matter how many minutes they get. Everybody on the team is making an impact in a very big way.
Here's Layla Martinez off to Montigny. Martinez open in the corner. Montigny top of the key. And that jumper no good. Husson maintains possession. Another jumper no good. Gets the offensive rebound, still no good. And that is out of bounds off Husson. We're going to see a lot of second chance points for these Eagles due to their height advantage today. It's been happening all season long. Can't get any of those shots to fall, however. Here's Torres driving to the basket. Nice move. Can't get it to fall, however. Martinez feeds it off to Montigny. Montigny triple teamed. In and out. Husson maintains the ball. Seward, 3, good.
Eagles doing a great job on the offensive glass and allowing them to finish possessions with a bucket. Well,
here is Fullenwilder, and there's a foul.
the screen, just didn't quite get her feet set. Going the other way.
Martinez with the ball. Gives it off to Porter. Porter gives it to Beals. Layup good. And it is 24-6 Husson with 3 minutes to play in this first quarter.
Macy Beals is one of those players we talk about a lot during these women's broadcasts. She's really a player, as we talk about, has a lot of confidence in her abilities, and it shows. She has a very palpable personality on the court. Her charisma is infectious, and she's one of those players that just you want to play with on the court and makes your team better.
There's Samantha Miller with that layup. Montigny, wide open lane. Layup good. Like you mentioned, Sam, Macy Beals, the ultimate spark plug for Kissy Walker's team, Every time she comes in, it looks like she can hurt you from deep. She can hurt you from the post. She's a great player to have on this team. Here's Montigny. Gives it to Martinez. Sets her feet. 3 off the front of the rim. Montigny keeps control for Husson. Martinez gives it to Seward. Immediately launches a 3. Can't get it to fall. That'll go out of bounds. SUNY Delhi will have possession.
And the Eagles already with 6 offensive rebounds. Montigny has 5 of them. Just goes to show how tenacious of a player she is on both sides of the floor.
Fullenwilder controlling the pace here against Maine Presque. Fullenwilder had 25 points in that loss. When she gets it going, she can hurt you with the points inside. Here's Layla Martinez. She'll just let the offense flow here. Montigny with the screen. Seward goes around. Martinez in the corner, driving to the basket. Beautiful cut. Can't get it to fall. Rebounded by the Broncos. Fullenwilder behind the back. And she is fouled.
Fullenwilder doing the smart move there, noticing that her team is not getting very many opportunities, just putting her head down, trying to get to the paint. Smart play there by Fullenwilder.
AC Beals guarding Fullenwilder. Fullenwilder going behind the back again. Creates some separation. Can't get it to fall. Rebounded by Samantha Miller. She gets that layup to fall. Second chance points there for these Broncos. Under a minute to play in the first quarter. And one. McKaylin Porter.
The Eagles are doing a great job in transition. Even when they're kind of walking the ball up, if Delhi's not paying attention, they're doing a great job of just executing and keeping the ball moving forward and getting these layups in transition. Trinity Montigny just had one a few minutes ago as well. Just continue to put the pressure on.
That's one thing they definitely work on in practice is that transition offense. And over these last 6 games, it has been absolutely tremendous for these Eagles.
Yeah, that full court press and that trap has really swung the momentum of the Eagles season. Had a bit of a rocky start, but since then they have been on a tear. And of course with Maine Maritime playing as well as they are, as the ball's turned over once again, with the Maine Maritime playing as well as they are this season, any sort of momentum for the Eagles moving forward is going to be crucial, especially when the playoffs are coming up relatively soon.
Yeah, this is an Eagles team that started the season 0-6, and since then, the record is now 8-10. Just amazing coaching. We said it at the start of the season when they couldn't get any wins to string up. We said, hey, don't worry. This is a Hall of Fame coach in Kissy Walker. We know that this team is going to turn around at some point, and the chemistry is going to start to click. And so far, it is clicking. As there's a rebound by Layla Martinez. Here's Seward, finds a wide open Montigny. Can't get the layup to sink in. Rebounded by the Broncos, and they'll just let the clock run out to end this first quarter. It is 29-10 Eagles after 1. We'll be right back on the Husson Eagles Sports Network. Welcome back to this North Atlantic Conference matchup for the second quarter. I'm Xander Cook, joined alongside Sam Miller and Luke Caruso. It is a 19-point ball game in this matchup. Maisie Peach is in the game for the Eagles, along with Sam Haber, Danielle Dow, and Aubrey Kachnovich, as well as Macy Beals. Here's Torres guarded by Beals. Beals trying to steal the ball. Top of the key is Samantha Miller. Goes to her right, driving to the basket. Layup, gets it to fall. Samantha Miller having herself a game here today. That is now 10 of the Broncos' 12 points coming from Miller. Peach, jumper, in and out. Rebounded by the Broncos. Mackenzie Wilson in the game for SUNY Delhi. Miller wide open, no good. Rebounded by Dow. Here's Beals off to Dow. Dow gives it off in the paint to Peach. No good. Here's Torres pushing the pace. And that'll be another turnover on the Broncos.
It's now 8 turnovers for the Broncos right now. We talked about how taking care of the ball in pregame is going to be their biggest thing with a defense as talented and as fast-paced as the Eagles. So far, the Eagles, once again, as Luke mentioned, making the opposing team just super uncomfortable.
And there's a foul on the Broncos.
Kind of going back to what we were talking about before the end of the first quarter with how this team, well, Xander mentioned this team playing with a lot of chemistry. Luke, playing for a championship team and playing with Husson, how important is it to have good chemistry up and down the bench with all your teammates?
Well, I mean, I think it can be one of the most important things to having successes on the court. At the end of the day, nobody's happy when you're losing. So, when you're on a win streak and everyone can feel good about all the work they're putting in practice and the weight room and obviously in games, it's obviously translates to everyone playing better and keeping the momentum rolling.
There's a missed shot by Roos, rebounded by Beals. Here's Peach in the paint, gives it off to Haber. Haber driving to the basket, layup, gets it to go.
A smooth finish from Haber, just goes right to the right side of the paint, scoops it off the right-hand side of the glass, and the Eagles are rolling, guys.
It is now a 33-12 game as Fullen-Wilder is fouled. Like you mentioned, Luke, you string off consecutive wins. That's going to up the chemistry, and it is clearly showing on the court for these Eagles. Fullen-Wilder's first free throw gets it to drop.
Absolutely. The Eagles are playing with such high energy on the floor, whether it's that, full court press and offensively. They're just, things are really clicking right now.
Fullen-Wilder goes 1 of 1 at the line. Here's Dow on the wing, gives it off to Beals. Beautiful jumper by Beals. And it is now 35-13 Eagles. Beals with 6 points now.
Shooter's going to shoot, and that's what Macy Beals is. She's a straight shooter. Doesn't matter from where, she will make you pay.
Absolutely, up and over O'Hare like it was nothing.
Here's Beals at the line, gives it off to Peach. Peach, bad pass and double coverage. Turnover by the Eagles. Here's Shakira Fullen-Wilder, guarded by Beals. Fullen-Wilder goes to her left. Feeds it off to Eleanor Wagner. Wagner, stolen by Dow. Here comes that transition offense from the Eagles. Dow, layup, gets it to drop, and it is now 37-13 Eagles.
And that's now 12 points off of turnovers for the Eagles now. Once again, their defense, being as pesky and scrappy as it is, really paying dividends once again.
Yeah, they're doing a great job playing up in the lane. Delhi's making some passes that, are a little slow, and the Eagles are jumping on them and taking it just like that to the other side for easy buckets in transition.
Another turnover on the Broncos. Samantha Miller guarded by Peach there. Peach forced her out of bounds, leads to a turnover. Here comes the Eagles. Macy Beals with the ball. Dow on the wing, guarded by Fullenwilder. Peach at the post, sinks it. Those are her first points of the game.
The Eagles really like to play out of that high post, whether it's an easy bucket like that for a jump shot or a rip to the rim. They really run a lot of their offense through that foul line.
Here's Wagner in the corner. Her three, that's good.
That's got to feel good for Wagner. That's the Broncos' first three-pointer of the game. Now only 1 for 2, shooting a pretty solid 50% so far. More looks like that can definitely help them get back into this game.
There's Kachnovich. Her jumper rattles in. And just like that, the Eagles have crossed the 40-point thresh mark. Under 6 to play until half. Here's Torres, guarded by Dow. Torres driving to the paint. Can't get it to fall. And that'll be off of Husson. Broncos maintain possession.
Yeah, it seems like the Broncos, despite the fact that the Eagles' defense is playing so well, once again, they've had a lot of really good looks from 3 and in the paint, just haven't been able to convert.
They are going to the paint at will, just can't get any of their shots to fall, and that seems like their whole season, really. Going to the paint, just can't get anything to fall. Here's Fullenwilder, jumper off the back of the rim, rebounded by Peach.
You respect the hustle play from Isabel O'Hare, just floating the ball up to Fullenwilder.
There's Beals from downtown.
And Luke, she's now 4 for 4 with 9 points on the game. And once again, we talk about it all the time. Macy Beals, she will make you pay no matter where she is on the court.
Absolutely. She continues to be that catalyst, both offensively and defensively, just, with a little, just walking the ball down and hitting a pull-up three. I was hoping for a bigger celebration from her, but guess not.
Beals is one to throw up that three. Selly doesn't flash it there. Here's Fullenwilder, guarded by Beals. Layup no good. Rebounded by the Broncos. And there's that second chance point. That's Isabel O'Hare, her first points of the game. Broncos relying on their freshmen in this matchup. Beautiful backdoor pass from Peach off to Beals. Beals to Haber. Three. Sam Haber from downtown.
Wow, that was beautiful by Haber. Took a couple steps back and just swished it from downtown. Pretty shot.
Here's Beals, like Luke mentioned, the catalyst offensively and defensively. Active hands. O'Hare, jumper off the rim. Rebounded by Beals. And that'll be a timeout from Kissy Walker. We'll keep it here. It is a 47-18 Eagles lead. We're seeing active hands on defense, beautiful transition offense. We're seeing shots from the post fall in, shots from three fall in. Everything is going the Eagles' way so far.
Yeah, and it's just once again, we got to talk about their defense and how it just really turned around. Not only just this game, but their entire season. As Xander mentioned, started the year 0-6, and as soon as, of course, Coach Walker implemented the new trap, as Lango gets to travel on the play. As soon as Coach Walker implemented the trap and full court defense, the entire momentum of this season has swung for the Eagles, and it's been super, super fun to watch. They're active with their hands on defense. They're crashing the glass. They're pacing and spacing the floor. Everything in these last 6 games seems to be just going so well for the Eagles. And as we talked about during pregame, if they can just keep this up for the rest of the season, they're going to be such a dangerous team to watch out for.
They definitely are. Montigny, great defense. Rebounded by Dow. Like you mentioned, Sam, as soon as Kissy Walker implemented that full court press, the Eagles' season just turned around in the blink of an eye. And like you mentioned, it's been absolutely tremendous to watch so far. It seems like one of one kind of team over these last 6 games, as there's Haber with the steal. And here's a transition offense. Haber's pass too far for Montigny, and that'll go out of bounds.
And Luke, with, of course, playing for Husson last year, of course, playing with coaches like Kissy Walker and Warren Caruso, who are just so good at learning and adapting to your opponents throughout the season, how important is it for the team just to do those little things, maybe a little bit more cardio, a little bit more work with your defense? How important is it to just to continue to keep adjusting to your opponents?
Well, it's incredibly important. I've mentioned it before, but executing both offensively and defensively is what high-level college basketball teams do. It's all about execution. And I think the Eagles have done a great job of really making the defense, like we've talked about the full court press, kind of a central part to their team this year. And then offense becomes a lot easier, whether it's getting points in transition and just in general keeping their teams, their opponents to less points.
That will go out of bounds. Last touch by the Broncos. Eagles ball.
Returning to Delphi, number 24, Alexander Roos.
Here is McVicker. Top of the key, gives it off to Langle on the wing. Langle driving to her left, double team. Passes it to Dow in the corner, back to Langle. Langle using her height, beautiful move. And she is fouled on that one. She'll go to the line for 2.
Langle upping her aggressiveness has been one of the big reasons why the Eagles have been able to get so many opportunities in these last 6 games. Her driving to the paint, putting the ball on the floor, as we talked about, we really haven't seen that much from her since her tenure at Husson. But her ability to do that has opened up so many opportunities for her defense or for her team on the offensive side of the floor.
Absolutely, and to add to that, she's not forcing much offensively. She's really letting buckets come to her very easily. Like right there, she rips to the left, doesn't have it, kicks it out to Dow, and then reposts, and then obviously gets the step through, but gets fouled, and now 2 for 2 from the line.
One thing about Langle is her offensive IQ is off the charts, especially this season. It seems like she has tapped into a new potential. It's been incredible to witness so far.
She's adapted so well, as we've come to see from these Eagles, just being able to adapt to anything. But one thing that stood out to me about Langle, outside of her aggressiveness, is her floor IQ and her passing. Her passing this year has been absolutely phenomenal. In the game yesterday against Cobleskill, she had 4 assists, and they weren't just average assists. She was just diming the ball on some nice baseline cuts.
There's Dow, can't get her shot to fall. Scramble for the ball. Maintained by McVicker, off to Haber. That's nothing but air there. And Langle's shot can't fall.
Trinity Montigny once again showcasing why she's a leader for this team. Out of the 7 offensive rebounds, Montigny has 6 of them. She's really just such a tenacious player. She might not pop, make your eyes pop out like when you look at the stat sheet, but she does, like we said, those little things that just help your team be so successful. Just active with her hands, crashing the glass, and setting up opportunities for her teammates, which just makes the game flow so much easier.
Roos, spinning jumper, no good. Torres, that's no good. Rebounded by the Eagles. Here's McVicker. Feeds it to Trinity Montigny. Montigny driving to the basket. Off to Langle. No good. Rebounded by Torres. Torres turns it over. Here's McVicker. Under 30 seconds to play in the first half. McVicker to Langle. Wide open, down in the corner. Lucky bounce and gets it from downtown.
You look at the Eagles sideline, they are ecstatic. That ball pretty much hit everything on the hoop there and eventually rattled in.
Absolutely. I like to call that the shooter's touch right there. A little bounce going in. And another, Eagles are doing a great job of passing up. Good looks for great looks. There, obviously, Langle on the block. Could have went up with it and kicked out to Dow for the 3.
That is perfect explanation by Luke there. Passing up the good looks for the great looks. That is exactly what you want if you're a fan of the Eagles. Fan of basketball, really.
Absolutely. That's just basketball 101 right there.
Team fundamentals. Under 25 seconds in the first half. Fullenwilder behind the back, driving to the basket. Off the rim. Torres, jumper. Can't get it to fall. Here's Langle with the rebound. Pushing the pace. Langle to Dow. Dow gives it to McVicker. Her 3. That's no good. Rebounded by Langle. And she is fouled there. And she'll go to the line for 2 with 6/10 remaining in the first half.
once again, Lengel just ultra efficient in the game once again. She's 4 for 6 on the game. She's knocked down all of her free throw attempts. 4 rebounds, 3 assists. Really coming into her own this season at Husson. Just adapting her game and just continuously improving as the season progresses.
Lengel gets the first one to fall. Here's the second. Gets that one to drop as well. She goes 2 for 2 at the line. And at halftime, it is 56-18 Eagles. Running away with it here on this Sunday afternoon. We'll be right back on the Husson Eagles Sports Network. I'm Xander Cook, joined alongside Sam Miller and Luke Caruso. Welcome back for the second half matchup in this North Atlantic Conference game between the Eagles and the Broncos. It is a blowout so far for these Eagles. One name that really pops out for Husson is Jordan Langle. 13 points in the first half, 5 of 6 from the field, including 5 of 5 at the line. Having it her way here in this matchup as there's Lily Roy in the corner for 3.
Yeah, Jordan Lengo, as you said, Xander, really just once again showcasing why she's so valuable to this Eagles team. Crashing the glass, getting where she wants to in the paint. It's another dominant performance once again.
Here's Fullenwilder driving to the paint, and she is fouled. One name that sticks out on the Broncos is Samantha Miller, having 10 of the Broncos' 18 points so far, shooting just under 50% from the field. There's a rebound by Husson, and there's a quick foul. That foul is on Torres, her first foul in the matchup. Martinez feeds it to Roy at the wing. Roy to the line, gives it to Seward. Seward driving to the basket, wide open lane, pays off. And just like that, it is 4 quick points for the Eagles.
Yeah, that's great patience from Seward right there. Just taking her time, seeing the lane in the left, and just banks it off the glass.
5 quick points, excuse me. Here's Cook. Stolen by Roy. Roy feeds it to Cook. Cook off to Martinez. Martinez to Seward. Layup good. And that is beautiful offense from these Eagles.
All 5 Eagles getting in touch in the transition there. It's like poetry, really.
It is like poetry. It really is.
Like a haiku in the fall.
We see a dunk. We could call it a poetry slam.
Absolutely.
That's good. I like that.
Thank you. Thank you.
Quick thinking here is what we do up here in the booth. We have to have a lot of fun with that.
We have fun up here in the nest. That's another thing I like. Eagles Nest. That's a great name for this.
They're perched up on a tree getting the best view of the action. Back to the game.
Back to the matchup. Here's the Broncos with the inbound pass. Fullenwilder drives inside. Nothing but air there. Here's Cook. Feeds it to Seward. Fakes the pass. Thought about the 3. Beautiful drive inside. And that's good.
Back-to-back possessions for Seward. She had a wide open 3, as you mentioned, Xander, but again, the patience paying dividends, takes her time, and gets right to where she wants to in the paint.
Yeah, she made a great decision, too. You know, when you hesitate on the first touch of the 3, sometimes it's kind of a tricky one to make, and she just took the lane that she had, and easy 2 points.
And there's another stolen ball from Roy. And that pass is tipped by Eleanor Wagner off her hands, stays with the Eagles. Here's Roy with the inbounds pass, again tipped by Eleanor Wagner. Here's Lauren Cook, gives it to Roy, 3, off the rim, rebounded by Husson, and that layup is good from Sage Evans. Right place, right time from Evans. Ball off the rim, right to her. And there is a tip ball from Seward, out of bounds. Stays with the Broncos.
We talked about throughout these last couple of days about how deep the Eagles are as a team. And we're taking a look at the stats right now. 39 points off the bench coming from these Eagles. Of course, with a game like this, we're going to have players come off the bench play some more minutes. And they're playing really well as Cook gets the block. But, yeah, 39 bench points. I believe there was a game that we called, Xander, not too long ago where the Eagles had around 75 bench points as well, which must be some sort of record.
Early on in the season when they had those 6 consecutive losses, a lot of people were saying, oh, the bench can't get it done. Shooting isn't there. They're turning over the ball. And out of nowhere, the bench is just lighting it up. And it has really turned this season around.
Yeah, to quote Steph Curry, what they going to say now?
They go and say now. I like that. Here's Layla Martinez. Martinez pushing the court. Wide open Evans. Jumper. Off the rim. And that is rebounded by Fullen Wilder. Fullen Wilder going to her left. Looking for a screen. Doesn't get it. And that is a turnover on the Broncos. And Razul Jackson, the head coach, is getting heated.
He's a very vocal head coach. He's always expecting the best out of his players. And obviously with this season like you're having, of course, morale can be a little bit low, but got to give a lot of credit to Coach Jackson, staying engaged, staying active, and staying vocal despite the fact his team is down so much.
Cook, wide open three, sinks it from downtown, Lauren Cook. There is 70 points for the Eagles, and Cook gets her first points in this matchup.
Yeah, Luke, we talked about a little bit about Lauren Cook yesterday and how if she can get her shots falling consistently, that's going to make this Eagles team go from great to elite when shooting three-pointers.
Absolutely, and she's doing a great job, even when her shot's not falling, affecting the game in different ways. We saw yesterday against the Tigers, she was getting a few easy buckets right around the rim, and just continuing to work hard defensively. And a shooter as good as her, the shots will start falling eventually, and she just got to keep doing her thing.
The thing about Cook in this matchup is that she has not been utilized much in this game. Kissy Walker had her on the bench for most of this matchup. Not like they needed her out there, obviously with the score being as high as it is, but when she is on the court and her shots start to fall, Husson looks like a real threat in the North Atlantic Conference.
Yeah, no kidding. In this game, as you mentioned, Cook only played 10 minutes up until the second half. 1 for 4 from three, 1 for 3 from downtown. So definitely, as we talked about, getting her shot falling consistently is going to be huge for this Eagles team. And when she's on, she cannot miss. It's absolutely insane to watch.
It is. It truly is. Calling some of these games, and when she's on fire, she's one of one. Here's Seward. Feeds it to Martinez. Loses control a little, regains possession. Evans to Seward. Seward driving to the basket. Feeds it to Roy. She's blocked. Seward gets it back. Martinez to Cook. Immediately flings that one off the front of the rim. And Husson is fouled there.
It's a good block from behind by Eleanor Wagner. Just saw Roy pulling up at the foul line. Good reaction play.
Absolutely good defense, but better offense. And the Eagles come up with that offensive rebound, kick it out. And another great look from Lauren Cook. Just couldn't quite get that one to fall.
Massive substitution for the Eagles. Dow in the corner, gives it to Porter, and that is a turnover on Husson. Here's Torres. She'll settle it down. Gives it to Roos. Roos from three, that's off the rim. Rebounded by Porter. Here's Kachnovich. Top of the wing, driving inside, kicks it to Dow. Dow to McVicker, fakes it, makes it.
That right there is the reason why patience is a virtue. McVicker, not wasting any time, just took the ball down low, few pump fakes, waited for the defender to miss, puts it up for an easy two.
Samantha Miller blocked behind by Porter. Porter to Dow. Dow to Kachnovich. And that'll go out of bounds. Ball sticks with Husson.
A good transition defense by Jewel Torres. Had Kakanovich driving to her left. Just sent that one away out of bounds.
Here's Lengel. Going to the paint. Inside, scoring, and one. It is cold in Bangor, but Lengel is colder.
That's just a textbook play from a post player like Lengel. Just puts the ball right up, not bothered by the defenders at all, and a chance for a three-point play.
Absolutely, she got the ball on the wing and got to her right hand and obviously finished with the contact. So playing very well, continuing to contribute to the Eagles' 74 points right now.
Here's Lengel at the line. Make that 6 of 6 today at the line for Lengel.
I mentioned 5 of 7 as well. I believe 6 for 8 after that, and 1 opportunity. She's being productive, but with ultra efficiency as well.
And there's active hands by Porter. Steals the ball, gives it to Lengel. Back out to Porter. Her jumper, that's good. Textbook passing between Porter and Lengel.
And a great bucket from Porter. She loves that little short corner, mid-range. Lengel finding her in her spot.
Torres on the ground. McVicker comes up with it. She'll give it to Dow. And that is an easy layup, and she is all smiles. She's like, really? No one here to guard me after that? You kidding me? 79-18 Husson. That is another timeout for Rasul Jackson. Under 3.5 to play in this third quarter.
Yeah, this has been another textbook example as to why this Eagles team is going to be so dangerous. It just seems like everything is going their way. 12 offensive rebounds, 26 defensive rebounds, 19 assists, only 7 turnovers, 43 bench points, 2 blocks, 17 fast break points, 12 steals, 31 points off turnovers, 44 points in the paint. It just seems like every single time the Eagles have something going on either side of the floor, it's going their way, and it's going in an emphatic way as well.
Well, it really starts on the defensive end. They're doing a great job of making defense kind of their identity, their focal point, and obviously leading to easy buckets. They forced 17 turnovers in the first half, and obviously still limited in their mistakes, only giving up 2. So just doing the best they can.
These are numbers that aren't really surprising if you've been watching the Eagles so far over this stretch of 8 games. You just expect them to put up those numbers defensively at this point.
Yeah, once again, it's Coach Walker who has to take a lot of the credit here for being able to continuously switch game plans and use lineups that may or may not work together. But as we talked about with the chemistry of this team, it doesn't matter up and down the bench. It doesn't matter if you're getting 0 minutes, you're playing the entire game. Everybody on this team fits this piece of the puzzle so well. It's like a well-oiled machine, and the chemistry is palpable.
There's another turnover by the SUNY Delhi Broncos. Here's Porter on the wing. Guarded by Roos. Porter to McVicker inside. Can't find anyone open. Now finds Dow. Wide open lane. Can't get the layup to fall. And that is going to go out of bounds. Last touch by Kachnovich trying to save the ball. Here's Torres guarded by McVicker. Off to the right. Torres loses control, finally gets it back. Screen set up by Roos. Torres to O'Hare, driving to the basket. Behind the back layup, no good. And here's Husson with possession. Kachnovich releases it from 3. Can't find the rim, and that'll go out of bounds.
Yeah, the Broncos on offense right now just not really able to find anything going for them. And it's not that they've taken any bad shots or anything. It's just whether it's the Eagles' defense or just the ball isn't going in, they've had a lot of good looks, just haven't been able to convert.
Well, the Eagles are doing a great job of making sure they don't set up their offense. It really starts with ball pressure on the point guard and just making it so they can't just set up a play super easily. And then it's obviously leading them to make decisions that are costing them turnovers.
Wide open Lengel, that's good.
We call a player like Lengel ambidextrous because he just puts it up with the left hand there with ease. And once again, adding to her phenomenal day as well.
That is 18 points from Jordan Lengel so far. Here's Fullenwilder. Feeds that one to Wilson. Wilson guarded by Lengel in the trap. Another turnover. Here's Porter. Wide open layup. Good.
That's now 21 fast break points for the Eagles. Really just getting it done on the defensive side of the ball.
Fullenwilder Feeds it to O'Hare, back out to Fullenwilder, and that is another turnover. Here's McVicker, wide open three. Can't get it to drop. Sticks with Husson. Here's Lengel. And her shot won't go. That is out of bounds, and it is Broncos ball.
Broncos still struggling to score. Haven't scored in this third quarter yet. Looking to get something going.
Yeah, the Eagles currently on a 39-0 run in this quarter. They have really, over the last, leading into the halftime and into this quarter, 39 straight points from the Eagles, really just having a phenomenal showing once again, carrying over their momentum from a gutsy win.
Here's Roos. Falls into a trap, and she'll turn over the ball. That is a travel on Roos.
Now, Luke, of course, you've been on both ends of basketball court. You've had days where you've absolutely blown on the other team. You've had games where you've been absolutely torched on both sides of the floor. What are some ways not to let morale get you down and just kind of keep the confidence going after being blown out?
Well, I mean, obviously, losing never feels good, but I think Delhi's doing a good job of continuing to try to work on what they execute very well. They're still trying to set up their offense. They're still trying on the defensive end. Honestly, they only have 2 subs, so I'm sure they're a little bit gassed right now in this, ending the third quarter. So sometimes it's tough with morale, but to continue to work on the things you guys work on every day and build on that for the next game.
That ends the third quarter. It is 83-18 Husson, and yes, you heard that right. That caps off a scoreless third quarter from these SUNY Delhi Broncos. Just unheard of. The Eagles' defense absolutely mesmerizing in this matchup. Unbelievable so far, guys. Absolutely unbelievable. We'll be right back on the Husson Eagles Sports Network. I'm Xander Cook, joined alongside Sam Miller and Luke Caruso. Welcome back to the Husson Eagles Sports Network, where the Eagles outscored the Broncos 23-0 in the third quarter, which includes a 39-0 run dating back to the second quarter. Here's Macy Beals inside, gets it to go. That makes it a 41-0 run by the Eagles.
And Macy Beals now the second Eagle to be joining double figures. Lengel, of course, the first to get there.
Torres gets it to drop. Finally getting some points on the board for the Broncos since the second quarter.
And we're kind of going off what Luke said earlier about how to just deal with a loss like this. And another shot from the Husson. But yeah, the Broncos aren't playing necessarily bad. I mean, they've had a lot of good looks on the offensive side of the ball. And as Luke mentioned, they're just trying to work on things right now. Obviously, 2 rotation pieces is going to leave you guys a little bit gassed. Nonetheless, they're still fighting for it as Miller gets the offensive rebound. I give a lot of credit to the Broncos. Have not backed down in this game, continuing to play aggressively and doing what they can in this one.
Yeah, and on the other end, obviously, the Eagles are up 60+ at this point, and they're continuing to play. I like to think it's no fun for anybody if you guys stop playing, especially with a whole quarter left to play. And both teams can work on things to build going into the next matchup.
That's one thing about Kissy Walker's group. No matter how much they're up by, they're going to continue to pour it on. Here's Kachnovich to Haber. Her 3, no good. Rebounded by Kachnovich. Tries to feed it to Montigny. Here's Haber. Great defense there by O'Hare. Steals the ball. And like we mentioned in the broadcast over the last several minutes, Broncos continue to fight defensively. Here's O'Hare on the wing. To Wilson. Wilson to O'Hare. Off the front of the rim, rebounded by Kachnovich. Montigny to Peach. Peach to Beals, top of the key. She'll let the offense break it down. Here's Beals to Peach. Inside, open lane, gets a layup to fall.
It's a nice two-man game from Beals and Peach. Peach sending the nice screen, beautiful cut to the basket, and Beals throwing it up where only Peach can get it.
Torres driving to her left. To O'Hare, her jumper, no good. Rebounded by Montigny. At this point in the game, Husson just letting the clock bleed a little bit. Already up by 67. Here's Peach. Gets another layup to fall. It is now a 69-point game. Peach with 6 points. And that'll be a 30-second timeout from Rasul Jackson. We're going to keep it here with under 7 to play. At this point in the game, what do you think Rasul Jackson is talking about on that sideline?
Well, I mean, I think it really comes down to not giving up. I mean, they're 0-14 on the season, and they have plenty of things to work on. And you know, even within these last 6 minutes playing against the Eagles, they can continue to build on what they work on, whether that be offensively or defensively. You can tell I'm kind of trying to give some encouraging words to the Broncos here. But I think it really comes down to, you know, not giving up and being willing to continue to compete until the buzzer goes off.
So Jackson over to the scorer's table, making sure everything's all good with substitutions. Here's Fullenwilder guarded by Beals. And that is another turnover on the Broncos. And Fullenwilder, after every turnover, every missed shot, hangs her head down.
And it's just kind of tough in a game like this where nothing seems to be going for you. You have good looking shots. For the most part, you're taking care of the ball pretty well. You're crashing the glass, but just every team has one of those days where nothing just seems to be going your way. On the opposite end, you got the Eagles where it just seems like everything, no matter what they do, is just, it results in something serendipitous. So
there's Kachnovich with a shot. Torres over to Miller. Miller guarded by Peach, and that's a block from Peach. Another block from Peach. Sticks with the Broncos. Here's Fullenwilder driving to the basket, and that is blocked by Montigny. Blocked by Peach again, and she's called for the foul.
A little Hakeem the Dream-esque from Maisie Peach. Just 2 straight blocks in the same possession. Way to stay with the play. And it looks like from up here she got all ball in that one, but the Stripes see it the other way. Fullenwilder will get a chance for some freebies.
It's the first one to go. Cuts the lead to 70 for Husson. It's the second one to drop. That is another turnover. Peach with great defense there. Haber to Montigny. And that is a bad pass leading to a turnover on the Eagles.
Right idea, just couldn't quite get the pass to connect, but I love the thought.
And the Eagles in this weekend have been pretty good at taking care of the ball. I mean, last night against Kovalevsky, I believe only 6 turnovers in the game. They did a really good job of just holding onto the ball and just making those plays happen. And when you're a team that plays as fast with the Eagles, it doesn't seem like nobody's holding on to the ball for very long as the ball is just continuously moving.
There's a blocking foul on the Eagles.
Eagles foul number 11. Her first, team second.
That is on Trinity Montigny. We have another full substitution for the Eagles. Porter, Seward, Cook, Roy, and Martinez come in during this final stretch of the game. Here's Fullenwilder to Torres. Guarded by Cook. Inside to Wagner. And that is controlled by Husson. Martinez to Roy. Over to Seward in the corner. Right idea. Couldn't get it to Porter, however, and that is another turnover on the Eagles.
Eagles doing a great job of not playing isolation basketball, really trying to get everybody involved, even in this last quarter with a large lead. Just a few passes that just haven't quite connected, but all the right idea.
Great defense from Cook, rebounded by Martinez. One thing I'd like to point out is Razul Jackson on the sideline had his arm over O'Hare, basically telling her, hey, keep doing your thing. It's all right. I'm proud of you today, and that's what you want from a coach, even in a lost season, just there for his players.
Yeah, and that's what separates the great coaches from the elite coaches. Is the coach that, despite the fact that your team has been struggling all year, continuing to keep morale as high as possible, telling the players that regardless of the score, keep fighting, keep putting in effort, and eventually things will just figure themselves out.
Under 4 to play in this matchup. Seward, step back, turns over the ball. Here's Fullenwilder. And a 2-on-3. Miller, guarded by Roy. Gives it to Torres. Fullenwilder guarded by Martinez. Feeds it to Miller. Her jumper gets it to drop. Sweet roll for Miller there.
Yeah, despite the score, Miller having herself yet again another phenomenal game. That's now 14 points for her. And I believe a double-double as well as Seward once again gets to the basket.
Seward finds another open lane there. And that is now 11 points for Alana Seward. Another player on the bench who gives it her all every matchup. Torres. That is stolen by the Eagles.
I think I want to point out about the bench of the Eagles is that in NCAA women's basketball, the average, in D3 NCAA women's basketball, the average team's bench scoring is around between 15 and 20 points a game. For the Eagles, 60 points from their bench today, as once again it just shows how deep this Eagles team is. With up and down the bench, everybody comes in and they contribute to some shape or form, whether they're scoring points, getting rebounds, getting assists, moving the ball around, making those little plays. Doesn't matter what your role is on the team. For the Eagles, they have their roles and they do it exceptionally well.
Seems like Kissy Walker heading into this matchup today was going to lean heavily on her bench. She's already down 2 starters, so might as well rest the starters she does have to avoid any serious injury down the road. And Husson has the bench to be able to run away with it any given day. And so far, today's the day.
Yeah, and Luke, we've talked about it multiple times of how important it is to have women with a next man up mentality on the team. When you're missing someone like Richards, who's been a very big part of their team, and Alyssa Harris, who's one of those up-and-coming emerging stars for Husson as well, being able to have that mentality up and down the bench is really crucial. And coming together as a team and playing with a lot of chemistry and teamwork has been a big reason why this Eagles team has been so successful in this stretch of 8 games.
Absolutely. I think something the Eagles do very well is not only, they have, a lot of people that can play at a high level, but more importantly, they all play well together. There's not a particular lineup that they stick to. They really mix and match, especially on games where it might be a little tighter and they're playing that full court press all game. So their ability to all mesh together is another strength of theirs.
Under 3 to play in this ball game. Here's Torres, who has touched the basketball a lot in this matchup. Jackson relying heavily on Torres. That's why gets that layup to fall. Martinez finds Cook. Cook out to Porter. Her jumper off the rim. Rebounded by the Broncos. Great move from Torres there on Cook. Torres. Layup can't fall. Torres gets it back. Here's Roos. Back to Torres, to Fullenwilder. Guarded by Cook. And that is a double dribble on Fullenwilder. Coming up on a minute and a half to play as there's Cook with the layup. Makes it 99-28. Coming up on a minute and a half, Husson looking to improve to 9-10, which they will. And the Broncos will drop to 0-16 on the year. The Eagles looking absolutely incredible in this matchup as there's another traveling violation on the Broncos. Seemed yesterday after that gutsy win against Cobleskill that this women's team can make a mark in the North Atlantic Conference this season.
Yeah, coming up is going to be incredibly crucial as well. After this game, the Eagles will be playing against the Beavers of UMaine Farmington, another conference rival right there. They're 7-8. That's a team that's given the Eagles some problems in the past, but with this new and improved Eagles defense, it's going to be very exciting to watch those two teams clash once again.
We see the Eagles use that full court press in almost every single matchup throughout the last 7 or 8 games so far. And you'd think that teams can find a way to get around that, but so far no team has. As there's layup from Lily Roy, and Husson has crossed the 100-point mark. And Torres will just dribble out the last 15 seconds. It's going to be a tremendous victory for these Eagles, looking unstoppable in this matchup, looking unstoppable throughout the second half of the season. They have now won 6 of their last 7 games to improve to 9-10 on the year, slowly clawing back to 500. Meanwhile, Broncos drop to 0-16 as they still search for their first victory on the year.
Yeah, they're going to be going to Vermont State University Johnson to take on the Badgers there. That should be a very interesting game. Both ball squads struggling throughout the year. We'll see how those two teams match up. Credit to the Broncos for not backing down at all in this matchup. They played to their heart's content. They played as physical as they could, of course. As Luke mentioned earlier in this broadcast, playing down as much as you are hurts for any team, doesn't matter who you are. But again, credit to the Broncos for not hanging their heads and playing with a lot of tenacity as well.
That'll do it from today's matchup. Don't go anywhere, folks. We have the men's game on in 35 minutes. I'm Xander Cook, joined alongside Sam Miller and Luke Caruso. We'll be right back in a half hour.